Welcome to the Hustle Report by Profit Duel, the podcast that delves into the side hustles that could make you money. Today, we're taking a deep dive into an opportunity that's, well, it's become a cornerstone of the modern gig economy, the Amazon delivery side hustle. With e-commerce not just growing, but absolutely exploding, the demand for efficient, last-mile delivery has created this massive, timely opening for individuals like you to earn extra income with remarkable flexibility. We're not just scratching the surface here. We're aiming to give you a real shortcut to understanding how to truly make this hustle work.
Okay, let's unpack this. For those of us already familiar with the broader gig economy, what are the distinct operational nuances that set Amazon delivery apart from, say, food delivery or ride sharing? And, what does it really take to be a successful Amazon delivery partner?
That's a great question, because while it shares that gig nature, Amazon delivery, especially through their Flex program, it operates quite differently. It's based on a system of blocks.
Blocks.
Yeah, so instead of just waiting for individual pings like for food or a ride, you schedule these blocks, usually maybe 2 to 4 hours long, often in advance. You commit to a specific time slot, you go pick up a whole batch of packages from an Amazon delivery station, not a restaurant, not a passenger's house.
Got it. So it's more scheduled batch work.
Exactly. And the app then gives you an optimized route for all those packages, guiding you right to each customer's doorstep. What's really different is the sheer volume. You're often handling dozens of packages in just one block. So route efficiency becomes super important. It really emphasizes bulk delivery over those one-off pickups.
So it's less about that kind of on-the-fly acceptance we see elsewhere and more about committing to a defined chunk of work beforehand. Does that commitment to a block mean the choose-your-own-schedule aspect is maybe less flexible than it sounds? Or is there still plenty of wiggle room?
That's a crucial distinction, and it's where being strategic really comes in. You do commit to that block once you take it. But Amazon posts new blocks all the time, sometimes days in advance, but also frequently on demand right through the day if, demand suddenly spikes or someone cancels. So the flexibility isn't so much within the block you're expected to complete it, but in which blocks you choose to accept in the first place. You could work an early 6 a.m. block, grab another one at 6 p.m., or maybe just do one block on a Saturday. Fits around other things. A lot of experienced drivers, they'll tell you, start small, maybe never commit to more than a 3-hour block when you're new.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just to learn the ropes, get a feel for local traffic, how quickly you can actually manage the pickup at the station, the drop-offs, without feeling totally rushed. And that app, by the way, it's not just for navigation. It's like your central hub for scanning packages, dealing with any delivery issues, even contacting support if needed.
That makes perfect sense. Start small, learn the system. Which leads us right into what makes this particular hustle so compelling for people.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets really interesting. Many people dream of being their own boss, right? But the startup costs, the investment, it could be a barrier. What if you could step into a really flexible role almost instantly using infrastructure that's already there? What are the key advantages drawing people to Amazon delivery?
Exactly. And when we talk benefits, the flexible schedule isn't just a buzzword. It truly is the foundation here. You control your availability. That makes it ideal for, say, parents, students, anyone trying to juggle a main job. It's not unusual to hear of people grabbing a block on their lunch break, or maybe after the kids are asleep.
Right.
It allows for that seamless integration with life's other responsibilities. And secondly, it's often a very direct and somewhat predictable path to extra income.
Predictable. How so compared to others?
Well, unlike maybe some creative side hustles or even food delivery where your earnings can swing wildly based on tips, Amazon Flex often gives you a clear baseline hourly rate for the block. Once you understand your local block patterns and rates, it allows for more consistent budgeting. That predictability. It's a huge draw for people aiming for a specific extra income goal each week or month.
Okay, that stability is appealing. What else?
Then there's the real feeling of independence. As a delivery partner, you're not really reporting to a supervisor in the traditional sense. You're not tied to a desk. You're out there on the road managing your own time and route, within the app's guidance anyway. While the app optimizes, you often have a bit of leeway in how you approach each stop. It gives you that tangible sense of control. That autonomy is super appealing for many. Plus, something people don't always think about. It helps you stay active.
The physical side.
Yeah. You're lifting, carrying, walking up driveways, navigating apartment buildings sometimes. It's definitely not a full gym workout, maybe, but it sure beats sitting all day. It contributes significantly to your daily step count, general fitness. It's an active job, which a lot of people actually appreciate as a break from, desk work.
So it's not just about the cash, it's control over your time.
Yeah.
A fairly predictable income stream, maybe even a bit of a workout. I've actually heard drivers jokingly call it paid exercise.
Yeah.
That independence and ease of entry really stand out. Sounds like a great option for someone wanting to take charge of their earnings without a huge upfront investment. But what about that easy to get started part? You mentioned the app and tools. Is getting started really that simple, or is there a learning curve once you're actually doing it?
That's a really important point to clarify. When we say easy to get started, it mostly refers to the low barrier for the application process itself. Getting signed up isn't usually too complex. However, the actual learning curve for a brand new driver, that can be significant. Just understanding how to navigate a busy, bustling delivery station efficiently during pickup, finding your specific cart or bags of packages quickly, scanning them all, then figuring out the best way to load your specific car.
Right. Tetris with boxes.
Exactly. Those are skills that definitely take some practice. And then there's the routing.
Hmm.
The app gives you the order, but local knowledge is gold. Knowing which apartment complexes are a nightmare to navigate, or which streets have terrible parking, or which houses have really tricky driveways, that's stuff you really only learn by doing it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, signing up might be relatively easy, but becoming efficient and actually profitable, that takes a bit of commitment and a willingness to learn as you go.
That's a crucial clarification. It's not easy, like zero effort, but easy to get your foot in the door, maybe.
Okay.
But, of course, it's rarely all smooth sailing and open roads, is it?
Look here.
For all its benefits, this hustle definitely comes with its own set of challenges, things you really want to be prepared for. What are some of the potential drawbacks or, let's say, practical considerations for this side hustle that our listeners should really think about before jumping in?
Absolutely. Got to have that balanced view, right? Probably the most immediate challenge people run into is weather conditions.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
You are essentially working outdoors. Think about delivering packages during a scorching summer heat wave. Maybe your car's AC is struggling. Or trying to navigate icy sidewalks and driveways in the dead of winter, possibly carrying heavy stuff. These aren't just small annoyances. They can impact your safety, your car's performance, and just how quickly and efficiently you can get the job done.
Definitely something to consider depending on your climate.
For sure. Then there are the pure physical demands. We said it helps you stay active, which is true, but it's not always a gentle walk in the park. This job involves a lot of lifting, bending, carrying packages, and some of them can be surprisingly heavy or awkward. Think big bags of dog food, cases of water, maybe furniture items.
Not just envelopes.
Not at all. On a typical 3-hour block, you could easily deliver, say, 40 to 60 packages. That repeated exertion day after day, if you do it often, can be really demanding, especially if you have any existing physical limitations.
Okay, that's important.
What else? Another critical thing is the time commitment. Yes, it's flexible, but hitting your income goals usually means dedicating a fair number of hours. If you're aiming for, let's say, an extra $500 a week consistently, you need to realistically calculate how many blocks that requires, how many hours on the road, and ultimately how much wear and tear that puts on both your body and your vehicle. It's always a trade-off.
And speaking of vehicle,
Yes, the vehicle requirements and maintenance are huge. Amazon typically needs a mid-size sedan or larger. Think 4-door cars, SUVs, maybe vans. That little 2-door coupe probably won't cut it for the package volume of a standard block.
Right.
And remember, this is your personal vehicle. Driving it constantly for deliveries means way more mileage, faster wear on tires, brakes, the engine, which means higher maintenance costs, oil changes, new tires, unexpected repairs, they add up.
and insurance too, probably.
Absolutely. You need to check if your personal auto insurance policy is even sufficient for gig work, or if you technically need commercial coverage. That's a potentially significant expense that many people overlook initially.
Wow, okay. Lots to track there. Anything else on the drawback side?
Well, finally, like any customer-facing role, there's always the chance of challenging customer interactions. Most are fine just taking the package, but you might deal with navigating a really confusing apartment complex with the gate code that doesn't work, or maybe an unfriendly dog, or even just a customer whose delivery instructions are impossible or really demanding.
Yeah, happens in any service job.
Exactly. It requires a certain level of patience and quick problem-solving skills. What's really interesting here, I think, is that while that flexibility is the massive draw, These very practical things, the weather, the physical side, the car costs, they're absolutely crucial for setting realistic expectations and for budgeting your time and money effectively.
That's a really comprehensive reality check. Knowing all that up front definitely helps you prepare mentally and financially, rather than being blindsided by, a big repair bill or a really tough delivery day. It's all about making an informed choice, isn't it? Deciding if this specific hustle with its particular challenges fits your life and what you're willing to manage. So, all right, let's get down to brass tacks then.
Yeah.
Money. What's the average hourly rate people can realistically expect from the Amazon delivery side hustle? And maybe more importantly, what really influences that number?
Okay, yeah, the bottom line, this is where it gets interesting because there's a range. According to various reports and driver forums, the average hourly rate for Amazon Flex typically falls somewhere between, say, $18 and $25 per hour.
$18 to $25. Okay.
Now, that's the gross rate
Mhm.
before expenses. And it's absolutely vital to understand what pushes that rate up or down and what's not included in that figure. A big factor is something called surge pricing.
Like with ride sharing sometimes.
Exactly the same idea. It happens when the demand for drivers suddenly outstrips the supply. Maybe it's terrible weather or peak holiday season or just unexpectedly high package volume. During those surge periods, block rates can jump significantly, sometimes to $30, $40, even higher per hour. But those blocks often get snatched up incredibly fast by drivers who are watching the app closely.
So timing is key for those higher rates.
Definitely. Conversely, really early morning blocks, or maybe late night ones, or blocks during traditionally slow periods, might offer lower base rates, closer to that $18 end. Experienced drivers learn their local market's hot zones and peak times to try and maximize earnings by grabbing those surge blocks when they pop up.
Okay, so there's some strategy involved in maximizing the hourly rate.
For sure. But here's the critical distinction you brought up earlier. This advertised rate, whether it's $18 or $25 or even $35 during a surge, it does not include your expenses.
Right, the costs of doing the job.
Exactly. We're talking fuel, which can be substantial depending on the block length and your car's MPG. Vehicle maintenance, more frequent oil changes, tire rotations, brakes, maybe unexpected repairs that come from the extra mileage. Plus, vehicle depreciation driving more miles lowers your car's value faster. And, as we mentioned, potentially higher insurance costs.
So that $18, $25 isn't really what you pocket.
Not entirely, no. So if you're earning, say, $20 an hour gross, but you calculate you're spending roughly $5 an hour on all those operational costs, gas, wear and tear, etc., your net income is actually closer to $15 an hour. Many serious flex drivers meticulously track every single expense, gas receipts, maintenance logs to get a true, accurate picture of their actual profitability.
That sounds like a smart move.
It really is. For someone just starting out, a decent rule of thumb, just to be safe, might be to mentally knock off maybe 25% to 35% from whatever the advertised block rate is. That gives you a more realistic expectation of your take-home pay.
That's a vital distinction. Because, yeah, $18 to $25 an hour sounds fantastic on the surface, but if a good chunk of that, maybe a quarter or even a third, is going straight back out for gas, upkeep, insurance,
Yeah.
well, it fundamentally changes the calculation for your actual earnings. Okay, so for those listening who are still interested, they've weighed the pros and cons, they understand the cost reality, what are the practical step-by-step instructions to actually get started and begin earning with Amazon Flex?
Right. The process itself is pretty structured, which is helpful. The very first thing you need to do is research the specific requirements for your area because they can sometimes vary slightly. You'll need to check Amazon's age restriction, usually it's 21 years old. Confirm the vehicle specifications they need, typically that four-door midsize sedan or larger we talked about, and understand the background checks you'll have to pass.
Background checks meaning?
It's not just criminal history. It definitely includes your driving record. So having a reasonably clean driving history is important.
Okay, step one, check eligibility. What's next?
Once you've confirmed you meet the basic criteria, step 2 is to actually sign up as a delivery partner. The official way to do this is through the Amazon Flex website or by downloading the official Amazon Flex app from your phone's app store. Definitely stick to the official channels.
Good tip.
From there, step 3 is to complete the application process within the app or website. This involves filling out your personal information, uploading necessary documents, usually your driver's license, proof of insurance, and formally consenting to that background check. This part, the background check processing, can sometimes take a little while. Maybe a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, just depending on how busy they are and how quickly the checks clear.
Patience is needed there.
A little bit, yeah. Then, if your application is approved, step 4 usually involves attending an orientation session. Sometimes this is virtual, sometimes it might be in person, depending on the location and current procedures. This is where Amazon walks you through how to use the app properly, best practices for loading your car, what to do during deliveries, specific rules for your local delivery station. It's pretty important for getting those operational basics down.
Okay, learn the ropes officially.
Exactly. And then finally, once all those steps are done and your account is fully activated, you're ready for step 5. You can officially start delivering packages and, begin earning money by signing up for blocks. And here's that valuable tip again. For ongoing advice, real-world insights, definitely check out online communities. Reddit's Amazon Flex drivers is a really popular one.
What kind of stuff did they share there?
Oh, everything. Experienced drivers share tips on which delivery stations are better run than others in their area, the best times to look for those surge blocks, advice on how to handle tricky apartment complex deliveries, even just navigating the specific procedures at different warehouses. It's a fantastic, practical resource that can seriously shorten your learning curve and help you become more profitable faster.
That's incredibly helpful, covering everything from understanding the real money involved to a clear step-by-step guide to get going, and even pointing folks towards community support. It makes it feel much more manageable, but with all the important warnings clear. So let's bring it all together. What does this all mean for you, the listener, if you're seriously thinking about this side hustle? What are the absolute key takeaways to carry forward from our deep dive into Amazon delivery today?
Okay, to really boil it down to the most crucial advice. First, absolutely leverage the flexibility and independence that this role offers. But be smart about it. Learn about surge pricing in your area. Figure out which block times genuinely work best for your schedule and the local market. Don't just grab anything. Second, go in with your eyes wide open. Be fully prepared for the physical demands and the practical challenges, the weather variations, the wear and tear on your car. It's not just about being physically able. It requires some mental resilience and good problem-solving skills when things don't go perfectly.
Right. Expect the unexpected sometimes.
Exactly. Third, and I really can't stress this enough, research your local average hourly rates, but then meticulously track and factor in all your expenses. Fuel, maintenance, insurance, even depreciation. Set realistic income goals based on your net profit, not just the flashy gross number.
Know your true numbers.
Absolutely critical. Fourth, just be diligent and follow the application process and requirements set by Amazon. Have your documents ready, be patient with the background check. A smooth start helps. And finally, don't be afraid to seek advice from the community. Tap into the wisdom of experienced drivers through forums like Reddit. Their practical tips can save you a ton of headaches, time, and potentially money. If we step back and look at the bigger picture here, really thoroughly researching any side hustle, understanding both its attractions and its real-world demands, that's the absolute key to making it work for you and feeling satisfied with it long term. It really brings up an important question for anyone considering this, or any gig work. What kind of trade-offs are you genuinely willing to make? Trade-offs in terms of physical effort, using your personal vehicle, committing your time, all in exchange for that extra income and that highly valued flexibility.
That's an excellent way to frame it. It really comes down to knowing yourself, knowing your priorities, your limits, and what you're willing to put in to get that income and autonomy out. And it's worth remembering, the Amazon delivery side hustle is just one path among many for earning extra cash in today's economy. We've talked about others here before, things like food delivery, maybe matched bedding, even creating online courses. There's a whole landscape of opportunities out there. It's about finding the right fit for you. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. How much value do you personally place on independence and flexibility when you're looking at your next money-making venture? And how do those values stack up against the practical demands, the real costs, the physical effort we've discussed today? It's definitely a question worth mulling over before you decide to hit the road. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.